Alright guys, you made it. We are basically at the end of this course. If you want to stop now, totally okay. You've learned the important stuff. So go ahead, jump into your system, whatever it is. If it's Zenfolio or you want to learn some stuff that you might be able to apply to your system, maybe some ways I do things that you could pick up on, it's kind of like a bonus section. So treat it as such. If you want it, great. If not, thank you very much for being here. I really appreciate you. So if you have any questions, also just reach out anytime. Shoot me a message, Facebook, Instagram, my phone number's everywhere. Just go ahead, text me up, call me, whatever you got to do. Send me a message. Smoke signals I probably can't see because I travel a lot, probably not close to you. All right, with this section, I want to talk about uploading to your website of choice. Mine, as you know, Zenfolio. So go ahead, if you haven't jumped into Zenfolio, if you've been thinking about it, kind of on the fence, I got a great discount code for you. If you just use Oli's Images, you'll see the discount code. I'll put a link to it in the description here. In the show notes, we'll make it easy to find, right? But here's the deal. Here's the plan. This is what we're gonna do. As I talked about in the last video, I got a little carried away on a tangent. Sorry about that. But we want to make that file structure like we were talking about in that last video. We're going to make that on our website. If you've got a brand spanking new website, this is the perfect time to start this file structure. If you have an old website, you've been doing it your way for a while, stick with it. If it's working, don't let me mess you up here, okay? I don't want you to call me and say, Oli, I tried it your way and I hate it. And it screwed me all up, cost me all the money. I do not want you to mess it up if it's your system and it's working. But if you're having some trouble with your system and it's kind of haywire and it's kind of that little thing, you know, in the back of your mind that's saying like, this should be cleaner, this should be more organized, I'm struggling to find stuff. If you're struggling, your customers are really, really struggling. So I want you to think about this from your customer's point of view. Your customers are coming at this with a certain set of information, right? So they have this information, you have this information, and there's this information in the middle where that you guys both have, right? So let's think about this from their point of view, right? What do they know? They know what year it is, right? We all know what year it, hopefully. We all know what year it is. You'd be surprised, but for the most part, we all know what year it is. And we all know basically what kind of event we were in, right? So barrel racers know they're barrel racers. Team ropers know they were at a team roping. We all know, right? So if you're a jumper or you're at a horse show or whatever it is that you do, just label it as such. Tell people, like, you know, you're probably a photographer that does a couple of different things, right? If you only do one thing, say you only do dog shows, right? Or horse shows. We're Equine Photo School, right? So if you only do horse shows, great. Everything's a horse show. You can skip that part. So just do the year and then list your horse shows, right? By name. And I like to put them in the order, like the reverse order of when they happen. So the most recent one is at the top because that is your customers are going to start at the top and go down, so it's easier. Most of them are coming in for that first one, that latest one, the one that just happened yesterday or might have happened today or happened last week, whatever it is. So typically the bulk of your customers are coming in there and then they're going to go down from there, and so I like to put them in reverse chronological order. So using this bulk processing, this image processor that we learned in the last step, we're going to upload into this file structure. So that file structure that we did the image processor with is probably really similar to the file structure that you have on your website. So if you're like me, you've got the year and maybe that might not match your hard drive, and then you've got the event type and that may or may not match your hard drive depending on your system. My system, it doesn't. I don't get that many of each event. It's fine to just put them all in one folder because it's just for me, right? But when it's for your customers, you don't want them to be confused, because when you confuse, you lose. I've heard it in a million business books. If you confuse, you lose. So we're trying to make it simple, straightforward for people. You know, my system isn't perfect. I'm still trying, but this is how I do things. And if you have a better way to do it, please let me know. I'd love to learn from you guys too. So like I said, I just want to break it down for my customers so they can dial in on their photo as fast as possible. So if they're a team roping, say they're probably not an open roper or a number 11 or a 15, maybe they roped in the 8.5, you know, whatever it is, so they can dive right down and say, I roped in the 8.5 last weekend, so I'm just going to go to that group, and I know I was team 97, so they're going to go to that 76 to 100 group, and they're going to scroll to the bottom, right, and they're going to start at the bottom and go up, boom, in just a few clicks and a little bit of scrolling, they found their photos, and they can order them, and they're happier. If you got a whole mess and it takes them an hour to find their photos, they're probably not going to buy their photos. If they even wait that long, they're going to be frustrated, and it's just going to be a mess. So let's get them their photos ASAP. So for the rest of this, let's jump right into the computer, and I'm going to show you a little bit more about what I'm talking about, and you'll be able to see exactly how I do things on the computer in my back end of Zenfolio. So let's get into it.